Hey, AutoHotkey people. My name's Tom, and today we're going to be talking about how to pitch AutoHotkeys to your job. The reason why I want to talk about this is it's come up from time to time. It's had both positive and kind of negative views on why and why you shouldn't. Some of the negatives have really been like people being like, oh, well, if I automate too much stuff, they're just going to get rid of people and fire them because, oh, why should I hire you when I can just automate your job? Well, hopefully that doesn't happen, because if it does, honestly, you probably work at a pretty crappy company that doesn't actually care about you. But I have talked to multiple people who have pitched AutoHotkeys and used it at their job. I have done this, for example, and I have saved, I don't even know, tens of thousands of hours a year. And I have never in the like 7 years seen anybody ever let go because of this automation with AutoHotkeys. And even when people have been fired or quit or moved to another department, their position has always been filled. So I don't really see that happening. I've talked to multiple people. They've had the same experience where they've just automated so much stuff and nobody's ever been let go. So basically what I want to start off with first is a lot of people get scared to pitch AutoHotkeys to their job because they think they're just going to be turned down right away. I mean, hey, you might be turned down, but for as far as I see it, if you try, you're showing initiative. And, hey, if it fails, at least it looks like, hey, I care about my job. I'm trying to better the company. So, hey, maybe you walk away with at least some positive vibes about you. So, basically, where to start? This can be, obviously, you guys know your company better than I do. This is just kind of some of the experiences I've had and some of the other people I've talked to. But the first place you should start is not just going ahead and doing it and then present it. You really want to go and get permission first. So go to whoever your boss is or whoever would be the best person to speak to about this and just say, hey, there's this programming language. It's called AutoHotkeys. It's very easy to learn. Now, you definitely want to kind of talk about how easy it is just because one day maybe you leave the company or you move on to a new position. Let them know, hey, even if I leave, it is a computer language that's probably not very well known. A lot of people in the company have probably never heard of it. But if I were to ever disappear and you wanted someone to kind of take over my projects, it's something that they could at least learn the basics within a week very easily because it's that simple. Definitely talk about that because obviously they're going to care about the future. If you disappear one day and it's like, well, the program stopped working, I guess we're screwed. Let them know, like, hey, this is going to be way easier than hiring like a Python developer, because you're going to have to pay them a lot. It's, you have to find someone who specifically knows Python really because they're not going to have time to learn it and fix any bugs. Where AutoHotkeys, pretty much anybody's going to be able to learn it as long as they're somewhat tech savvy. So, talk to your boss, and before you go to them, be prepared. Not just with what is AutoHotkey and why is it good, but also have some numbers. Hey, I had some ideas of how AutoHotkeys could work with this one process we have. Have numbers because numbers really speak a lot because they can really show you the benefits very easily and very clear. Okay, if we don't use AutoHotkeys, for example, what we're doing now, doing this process manually on average takes about this many seconds. We have this many users and we perform this action about this many times a year. That comes out to, let's say, 1,000 hours a year we're spending on this process manually. Now, with AutoHotkeys, if we were to perform the same action, obviously I'm kind of estimating here, but based off my experience and my expertise, I would say it would save us about X amount of seconds, once again, X amount of people over the course of a year. We're going to cut our time from 1,000 down to 500 hours. Obviously, that's just one example I have. I know 500 hours a year doesn't sound like a lot, but this is just one idea I have. I have 20 other ideas, so imagine what this could do in the long run. That's really going to speak a lot, I think, to a lot of people who just don't understand programming. Maybe they're not tech savvy, but they're going to understand time saving. I mean, at least I hope so if they're your boss. And then also maybe throw some other benefits around here. Hey, there's this mistake we make a lot where we accidentally spell the client's name incorrectly, like all the time, because they spell their name a little bit weird compared to what's normal. So we make those spelling mistakes all the time. We could create what's called a hot string, where anytime somebody makes that mistake, the program will actually auto correct it, or we can have a message box that pops up saying, hey, please double check the spelling on this company's name. So, throw other benefits out there besides just time saving, but also error handling. How many times are we making this mistake? Can we get rid of this mistake completely? That's kind of what you're going to do. If they like the idea, after that, honestly, the route kind of from there can really depend on the company you're working for. They might have to go to other people, their boss, maybe get a group meeting together to discuss what you just told them, to see kind of like a vote on, yeah, do we all think this is a good idea? Do we want to take him from his normal job and have him do this? You can pitch, hey, I don't have to do this full time, obviously, but hey, give me 5 hours a week and I can save you hundreds of hours a week. Hey, that sounds great. Let's do that. So, just kind of play around. Obviously, like I said, your company a little bit better. From there on, a lot of times you're going to need IT's approval. They're going to need to actually install AutoHotkeys on your computer. That could be another touch point to bring up, is saying, hey, I do need this installed on my computer. It is very well trusted. They can run virus scans on it, whatever they want. I know it's going to pass, but it only needs to be installed on my computer. Oh, well, how's it going to get to other computers? Well, I can do what's called compiling, which is where I take the code and I turn it into an executable. Talk to them like they have no idea how a computer works. Really, I don't want to say dumb it down, but that's the only word I can really think of at the moment, is dumb it down as much as you can. What is an executable? You know how you click that little Outlook icon and Outlook opens? That's an executable. You don't have that code necessarily installed on your computer, but it still runs. Explain it like they're brand new to just computers in general, basically, is the best way to say it. From there, hopefully IT, does whatever they need to do. They install it on your computer. From there, discuss with your manager, hey, here's all my ideas. Hey, can we sit down? I have a bunch of ideas, kind of do a quick brief overview of them. Here's what I think, why this program's good, and then prioritize. What programs should I, or script or code, whatever you're doing, should I be working on first? So just keep a very open communication so that they know what you're doing at all times. And this is helpful because then, they might be like, oh, that's right, you're working on this one script. Actually, I was hoping you could switch over to another script because we actually decided that one's more important right now because we need it like ASAP, where the other one, if it comes out a few months from now, no biggie. So talk about that kind of stuff. Set up a plan on how you're going to do this. Maybe you have a project management team, or you just want to talk to your boss about scheduling stuff once you complete it. Hey, I got this scheduled. How do you want to test it? How do you want to roll it out? What date are we going to do it? Do you want me to do documentation? So even once you've pitched it, there's still like that communication of also setting up of how you're going to be doing all this stuff in the future. So that's important also, just to kind of throw into this video. If you guys have any other ideas or kind of experiences on how you pitched AutoHotkeys to your job and how did it go, definitely let me know in the comments below, just because I'm curious, and hopefully it also helps any other people viewing this video. That's pretty much just a quick rundown I wanted to do, just kind of give you guys the motivation, some ideas on how to pitch it. Let's get AutoHotkeys out there in the world. It's awesome, it's great, and I will see you guys on the next video.